Good morning, everyone. This is Royce coming back at you with yet another Let's Try. And today on the docket, we have something very special. Something that I saw on Brian Dylan Hollis's channel, and then my mom independently saw on Facebook, and she decided to make using all the eggnog I gave her. So today on the docket we have eggnog pie. What is this? This is eggnog, vanilla pudding, and whipped cream all mixed together into a faux custard. Well, I mean, I guess it is a real custard since it's got both heavy whipping cream and eggnog in it. Oh, and of course a little nutmeg mixed in. Using, I believe this is a graham cracker crust. Let me check. Yeah, that's graham cracker crust. The store-bought graham cracker crust has a bit of a freezer burn taste to it. I think my mom might have left it in the freezer a little too long, but that's not what we're here to taste. We're here to taste this lovely little dish. Here's looking at you, kid. So, fun fact. This is the first time my mom has ever actually made her own whipped cream. You see, Brian Dylan Hollis told me that you could, told his followers, I should say. I didn't get to, FaceTime with him or anything like that. But, he suggested switching out heavy whipping cream with Cool Whip if you didn't have a hand mixer. However, my mom didn't see that in the recipe she found on Facebook, so she made her own heavy whipping cream. Or made her own whipped cream. Using whipped cream. This is so fluffy. Look at that. That is just absolutely beautiful. It's like a very pillowy, custardy. You know what it reminds me of? Japan has a weird version of the cheesecake that's supposed to be really good. And it reminds me a lot of that. Because it has this almost like it is kind of like a cross between a pudding and a custard. I know a pudding is a custard technically, but I just realized, does Jello sell their pudding mix in England as custard mix? Weird. Anyway, but it's a little firmer than a pudding because, as you can see, look at this. It does not move. It sets. I think that's what the whipped cream brings to the party, is that it gives it more body. You know what it also reminds me of is when I was in about 7th grade, I believe. We found these wild puffball mushrooms at a family reunion. And they're supposed to be really good to eat. As long as you get them before they turn up. As long as you get them before they become I don't know, whatever you call where they mature enough to unleash spores. Because then the inside basically turns from a nice fleshy mushroom into a puffball. It looks like a dandelion on the inside, like a dandelion on the inside, ready to spread its seeds, which it kind of is, but not quite. Okay, you can kind of see poor mom. I will say she was using a whisk. Maybe not a whisk, a hand mixer, but maybe she should have used an immersion blender or something. I don't know. I don't know if she has an immersion blender even. And I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. This is still delicious. Anyway, since it was an edible mushroom, and one of the other puffballs we had grabbed, the inside had a very custardy look to it, or like a very light and fluffy. Oh, like a whipped yogurt or something like that. I wanted to frost the puffball mushroom and give it to my teachers, saying it was a cake, which would have been absolutely vile. Luckily, we never ended up doing that. I was way too mean to my teachers as a kid. Like, well, I didn't. I don't think I was outwardly mean to them, but I thought mean thoughts about them. You have to remember that, well, okay. So sixth grade was the last year I did well in school. After that, my depression started getting progressively worse. Um, Seventh grade went okay, but eighth grade was bad. Freshman year was like a collapse. I fizzled out. And in my angsty, hormonal teenage rage, I kind of blame my teachers. I was a gifted, intelligent kid, but they were just putting so much pressure on me. And even as an adult, I think there was some truth to that, but I think it's more to do with that they didn't understand what I was. Neither them nor I understood what was happening. You know, depression doesn't need a trigger to happen. It can develop naturally. Or rather, unnaturally, I guess. I don't know. What is the natural way for depression to show up in a person? Is it because they've experienced trauma, or is it just because there is a chemical imbalance? Like, which one would you consider natural? Said trauma causes the chemical imbalance, I will say, and when it is trauma based. Um, anyway. Um, and I just got more and more sad. There was a time when I thought, like, if I don't figure out a way to get my ideas into production by the time I graduate high school, I've got to kill myself. Thankfully, that never came to pass. I graduated in 2012, and here I am, 11 years later. I was. Here's something you need to know about me. I was a very self centered child. And I was always very self pitying. Like, my mom would make fun of me and say pity party table for one, which is not what a kid needs to hear from a parent when they are in the middle of a depressive episode, but she was right. Um, you know, there are so many like weird factors in my life that I feel like were contributing to all the like feeling awful like self-loathing I had that. But like, here's the thing: it was a little bit of self-loathing, but also like I don't know. Like, I had delusions of grandeur as a kid. I believe that I was beyond reproach. And I still struggle with a bit of that ego sometimes. I have to, like, there's a reason why I try to be a little self deprecating. It's a way to show that, no, I'm not. I swear, I'm not. I'm not arrogant and self centered. But it was weird because I would have these like very like I'm so great thoughts about myself, but then I would look in the mirror and see someone who disgusted me. And now I don't feel that way when I look in the mirror. I mean, like I wish I were different. We all do. But body dysmorphia is, just something everyone deals with, I think. And I know what you're probably going to say. Well, Royce, if you're worried about how you look, you can change it. I'm like, I am taking steps, but those are not steps I'm actively advertising. Unless you want to see me inject myself with Ozempic every week. See me down a gullet full of antidepressants and blood sugar medication and stuff. Oh Lord, that reminds me. I asked to get Cobra to cover the 2 months until I was able to get open enrollment at my new job. My manager, in her everlasting wisdom, decided to make sure that she didn't process my termination papers until after they could, until over a month after I had left the company, and thus making me unable to get Cobra. So now I owe the hospital, well, the doctor's office, $500 that I do not have. What about that PS5 you just got? Well, I didn't know I owed the money at the time, okay? And now it's open, and it's being enjoyed by my cousin. Because I promised him he could have the first month on it. And then I'll stream RoboCop and Street Fighter 6 for you guys, hopefully. I heard they're adding Yor from Spy Family to it next year, and that sounds like a lot. To Street Fighter 6 next year, and that sounds like a lot of fun. I want to play the Murder Mama. That was a good show. I love found family shows. Spy Family is like Dragon Maid if without all the creepiness. Like, Dragon Maid would be such a good show if it were just about a lady who gets a dragon maid and a dragon daughter, has romantic feelings for the maid, and that's it. But instead, they give it a lot of creepy stuff that makes me like, ugh, ugh. I haven't even watched the second season because I hear it gets even worse in the second season. Why am I talking about anime? This is a Christmas episode. Actually, there's a Christmas episode of Dragon Maid. Oh my god. Fun fact. A KFC promotion in Japan for eating fried chicken for Christmas became so popular that fried chicken is now a Christmas tradition in Japan. It's kind of like how Coca-Cola's image of Santa Claus that gave him the red suit is now just like part of the zeitgeist around Santa Claus. Like, Santa Claus wasn't originally in red. I mean, if you look at the book, I'm pretty sure he has like more of a. He's described as having just like ash covered clothing and like a little stump of a pipe in his mouth. Like, he's very much a toy maker, like a workshop guy who came down your chimney and is putting toys in your socks. Anyway, this was a delicious pie. I shall be enjoying it over the entire month. Thank you for listening to me. And I'll do more videos, like, I'll do more Let's Tries. And I think I know what I want to do for the 3,000 subscriber special. What I want to try to do is make beef burgundy. And so I'm going to kind of use this as a way to introduce it. I'm going to do it two parts. One, where I'm making the dish. Two, where I'm eating the dish and answering questions. So it is going to be kind of a QA similar to my first big subscriber special, the 1,000 subscriber special. But I'm going to be doing everything myself this time. I'll be cutting up vegetables, making the beef burgundy, and all that good stuff. Sorry. So leave your questions down below. I'll also do like a more official post because I've got bad retention time on these videos. I've noticed. So look for that sometime. Hopefully this month, maybe next month. I'm not sure. Why beef burgundy? Well, because it's kind of a cheap. It's a very luxurious dish, but it's cheap to get the ingredients for. It's just hard to make. And I already have the bacon. I just need the rest of it. The mirepoix and the beef and the wine. And I can get any cheap, like a really cheap wine. Oh, hey, that's a good idea. Leave your suggestions for what kind of wine I should use to make beef burgundy. Like, I'm assuming a burgundy wine, but I don't know if that's an actual kind of wine or not. Anyway, y'all have a good night. This is Royce Miller. I'm outie.